Welcome back. Now a Fox 11 special report. The controversial wall along the international border with Mexico has drawn a lot of attention the past few years. Generally, people either really like it and support it or really dislike it. But one Tucson musician, while not liking the wall at all, has found a very different way to engage it. Here's Fox 11's Samantha Patashkin.
On a November afternoon along the border wall in Nogales, Arizona, a most unexpected symphony tells a story hidden in plain sight, one that gives this hotbed of violence a little taste of harmony.
People say it's a fence. People say it's a wall. I say it's an instrument.
If a cello bow can tap a drum beat, the border wall can become Glenn Weyant's concert hall.
They probably think, you know, who's that crazy guy with the cello bow?
It all began a few years ago when this Tucsonan started seeing a rapid shift in border security.
In some ways, it's a bit of an embarrassment that relations between the two countries would have to get to this point, that walls would have to be built.
An avid musician, Glenn started playing the wall.
Playing music by gunpoint is always interesting, you know.
4 years later, his symphony hasn't ended. Glenn describes his music, made by everything from rubber mallets to kitchen utensils, as a sort of folk music, a melody he hopes can provide insight into Mexican-American relations.
I don't know if I'm really trying to do anything except to create something beautiful out of something that in my opinion, is somewhat ugly.
Back in his Tucson home, Glenn takes a day's worth of recordings.
I download them from the recorder, put them onto the laptop,
and uses a program on his laptop to mesh the sounds together.
You have an experience, you create something, and then you're figuring out, but you may hear things, there may be nuances that you want to add to it or change.
He puts the finished product on his website. This symphony of trucks beeping, birds chirping, dogs barking tells a different story of the border wall. A wall that divides two countries, a wall that in recent months has divided our nation.
If you take a shot of this wall, it's falling apart. It's a slapdash, rusted old wall. It's silly.
100% of the money made from Glenn's downloads goes to No More Deaths, a humanitarian organization working to end suffering on the U.S.-Mexico border.
You know, if I had Bono and Sting with me, I think we could make a little bit more money than my downloads do, but...
For now, it's just Glenn and his music, his symphony.
More Mexicans playing music for Americans, Americans playing music for Mexicans would be a wonderful form of communication.
Some people say it's a fence. Some people say it's a wall.
History has a way of suddenly turning. I mean, you look at the Berlin Wall.
Glenn Weyant says it's an instrument.
The world is everyone's instrument, and I think there's a lot of wonderful sounds to be had.
Samantha Patashkin, Fox 11 News.
If you'd like to learn more about Glenn's work, just go to our website, fox11az.com, and click on news links. And we'd like to acknowledge the Desert Leaf magazine is where we first learned of Glenn's work.